beautiful peoples. Welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot. We are doing another unboxing, and this is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. It is created by Maggie Stiefvater. Stiefvater? I have to look how to pronounce that. My apologies for butchering the last name there. Okay. It is produced by Llewellen, and I know a lot of folks already have this deck or already know about it, so it's not going to be any news to you, but for me, I've seen images over the years. I know about it. Sometimes I was called to get it, and then sometimes I was not, and so I was like, okay, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Well, it was meant to be. I went to the 2020's Northwest Tarot Symposium in Portland this year. Obviously, that's a 2020. And I got it there. Someone gifted it to me there. I didn't even purchase it. I didn't purchase any decks this time around at the symposium. So that was interesting. So how I got this deck was I was chatting with a friend, Linda, who also attends the Northwest Tarot Symposium, and so she had the Raven's Prophecy. And what was cool was that Llewellen, the publisher, was at the symposium and was gifting each attendee a deck. And so I did not get this deck, but this was actually one I was going to get, but I think there was no more copies of it. So I was like, oh, I'll have to get something else. Fine, no big deal. But then Linda was talking about how she had a copy of it, and I was like, oh, I'm jealous. I would have really wanted this deck because, there's not many decks out there that I really want anymore. I really feel like my collection is complete. So anything that's coming into my collection now is really, truly a bonus and a gift that I'm grateful for, because honestly, there's not much else out there that I'm like, yes, I have to have this right now. I have to add this. And it's a good place to be in. It's quite satisfying. But this lady overheard me at the symposium kind of saying, oh, I'm jealous. I wish I had the Raven's Prophecy, as a deck from Llewellen here, while we're here. And she said, hey, pardon me, I couldn't help overhearing you mention that you would love the Raven's Prophecy Tarot, and I have a brand new unopened copy that I was going to put on the exchange table, but I overheard that you want it. So yeah, she was like, if I'll put it in my bag for tomorrow, and if I see you tomorrow, I'll just pull you aside during the conference and offer it to you. And I said, oh my gosh, yes, thank you so much. I was so grateful for her to even just offer. So then, I'm going to stop doing that because the light is blinding me and you. So then she finds me the next day and gives it to me. And this was like days before, like the Northwest Tarot Symposium was in the first weekend of March. And so this was obviously very pre-COVID-19 scare. And so I think I hugged her. I feel bad because I know but hopefully she's fine. Hopefully everyone is okay. I'm so grateful for the gift. So anywho, that's the story of how this deck made its way to my collection. So I'm excited about it because it's a deck I've been seeing and wanting, and it was like, oh, I'd love a more kind of Halloween, fall, autumn kind of deck. And I use all of my decks year round, even my Halloween Oracle. I use it year round. I don't use it just for Halloween, but it's just kind of nice. I love things that are visually kind of tied together, and I just felt like this deck would probably go beautifully with some of my more autumny decks like the Halloween Oracle. And of course, Llewellen has a nice guidebook here. Now, this particular copy doesn't have like the color images, which is fine by me. I'm not particular, but I love how it has the keywords patience, control, and self-belief. And it looks like it goes into a first person description of the meanings, meaning that she says for the strength card, for example, I've heard strength interpreted in many different ways, many of them unsatisfyingly thin. I think the reason why it's a difficult card to interpret is because it can seem a little redundant. So much of the tarot deck is about internal strength that it feels like this card is meaningless when it appears. Be strong, of course. What else would you want to be? But I think this card begins to make more sense if you read it as fortitude in the long haul, and if you replace the word strength with patience. When this card shows up, you have been being strong, but this card says that you're not done yet. Whatever burden you've been throwing yourself against is not going away anytime soon, and you're going to have to dredge up all your patience and self-belief to get past it. This card asks you to be resilient, a far more difficult task than mere strength. And then she talks about the art. The art shows a fist, the magician's fist, held in solid belief. Remember everything you have learned about yourself before now, and realize that you're going to learn a lot more before this is over. And don't just be strong, stay strong. I love that. I really love her guidebook. She wrote in first person, and I love the way she did that. Just so conversational. Oh, I love it. She even introduces the suits, like the cups here. Okay. Some guidebooks lends itself to kind of reading it just on the side and getting to know it that way and getting the perspective of the author. I love when guidebooks give the perspective from the author or the artist, why they made the design decisions that they did, what are their thoughts about the meanings. I love it. Just adore it. Okay, so it's got this little plastic wrap on it. It's been a while since I did an unboxing, because I'm in my 2020 depth year, so decks are few and far between these days, which makes me a little bitchy. No. Okay, let me see. I don't want to hurt the deck as I try to open this plastic. I hear my daughter stomping into the room, probably to begrudgingly brush her teeth. I hope you guys didn't hear the stomping. Okay. All right, so here are the backs. It's kind of like glossy. You can kind of see my fingerprints there. Got the little elements here, figure 8. I like the size. I'm such a fan of the size. This is interesting. Feels different Llewellen. Wish I would have. I don't know if I have a Llewellen deck right at hand near me right now. I don't. Oh, well, I do and I don't. There's one kind of tucked away that I'm not gonna. I don't know. It feels different stock. It's not bad. It's just it feels different. I'm sure it'll shuffle beautifully for me. I love to riffle shuffle. So here's the full. Let me move my box because I want you to be able to see. Okay. Magician. The High Priestess. I've seen some people trim this deck. And let's see this. I've seen people trim this deck and it's come out beautifully. I might edge it, but I don't know. I mean, I'm always torn on if I want to try to trim a deck. Here's the Empress. I love the Empress. There. The Emperor. The Hierophant. Oh, I like that. There's something, even though these are darker colors, there's something, the energy of this deck is very comforting, very nurturing. Like, I don't know, I can't describe it. I cannot describe it. Some decks, it's like palpable, their energy. Some decks for me are sassy, and you can feel this certain kind of energy from it that, like, where even before you even start like shuffling, and you're like, oh goodness, what kind of reading are we gonna have? This one feels different. This one feels, dare I say, gentle. The Lovers. It's beautiful. The Chariot. I think this is the best time for this deck to have come into my collection, because as many of you have watched my channel over the past couple of years, 3 years or so, you know that I've come a long way in terms of wanting to have a animal deck. Normally, I'm not really into animal decks or decks that have a lot of animals in it. I'm more into people or inanimate objects for some strange reason. But this is why I think there's always a time and a space and a season for when things need to come into our life. Like, I appreciated this deck from afar, but I wouldn't have been ready for it until now, in other words, is what I'm simply trying to say. The Chariot. Now, this is interesting. This is an interesting Chariot card, and I'm going to have to look at the guidebook to understand it. I just also like to look at it. It says balance, self-control, duality, and is that id or id? Id? Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. It says the duality that the Lover's card mutters about becomes a proper problem by the time the Chariot shows up in a reading. There are two sides to you, seemingly opposite, and you keep being thrown from one to the other. In many decks, this card depicts two beasts of different color pulling a chariot. When they agree on a direction, the chariot moves forward swiftly. When they disagree, the chariot grinds to a halt. You've ground to a halt. Or maybe, if you want to interpret this, like if this was in reverse, I would say you've ground to a halt. I think for me, the Chariot energy is no, you start to get everyone in sync, everyone moving in one accord in one direction, the two energies merging to one to go into a fast forward direction. I don't know if I agree with the author of you've ground to a halt with the Chariot. However, I like that, you know, I can appreciate maybe she's saying this because she doesn't have a reverse section in the guidebook. So, you know, sometimes you kind of have to show all aspects of the card if you're not going to have a reverse card meaning. Then that's fine. I don't need a reverse card meaning. But it makes sense to encompass everything. But I don't think of Chariot energy, upright at least, grinding to a halt. Oftentimes, the duality on this card refers to our emotions versus our intellect. The heart says one thing, the head says another, the chariot won't move. Other times, this card refers to our softer side and our more thrill-seeking side. This part of you urges safety. This other part of you shouts for risk. There's a reason why the dragons on this card are dark and light. They appear to be opposites. When this card shows up, it's a sign that your self-control is being tested and generally is being found wanting. The Chariot's not moving because you can't figure out how to get yourself in line. You can't figure out which you want to be. The Chariot isn't really about choice, though. It's about balance. You aren't cutting one of the beasts free so you can move on without it. The Chariot will move with only one of them, but not as fast as if you found a way to make them both move in the same direction. I like that. I do like that part of the meaning. The Chariot tells you that there is a way to satisfy the warring parts of you. Find your self-control, embrace your dark and light sides, and enjoy the ride. That's beautiful. Okay, it's beautiful. See, sometimes you got to go a little deeper with the cards because you're like, what? Hold on, let me understand this. Here's Strength. I love that Hermit so much. Love it, love it, love it. Love the Justice. And I think as I'm going into my reading practice deeper, as time goes by, now I can appreciate a deck like this. Whereas maybe, you know, first starting out, this would not be something that really I could work with, you know. The Hanged Man. I like that. Death. Beautiful. Temperance. The Devil. I love it that it's showing up as a mask. Oh, it's kind of scary with the little eyes kind of beaming at you. Oh, I don't like it. The Tower. Can't get it to focus. Beautiful. The Star. Oh my goodness. The Moon. Gorgeous. Yeah, my friend Laura asked me, she was like, have you started working with the Raven's Prophecy yet? She sent me a message and I was like, oh, no, I hadn't even unboxed it yet. And it's been it's been a month since I've been to the symposium. So I was like, oh, let me go on and unbox it because she's, you know, I wanted to actually be able to chat with her about it. And then she was mentioning that she read some books related to it. So I messaged her back about that. Like, what do you mean about these said books? What are you talking about? So I'm curious to see what she's saying with regards to that. But since I'm in my depth here, I have nothing but time and energy to devote to my decks. And it's so cool because I am having such an incredible time of enjoying the decks that I have. Decks that I even was like at first doubting that I had a connection with. It turns out I did have a connection with them. I just wasn't giving them enough time and space and use to really connect with them. So now, yeah, I have a collection of, and I have to make sure I add these to my collection because they have to be accounted for. I gotta remember that. Shoot. I think I got 5 decks from the symposium. Gifts, of course, but yeah, I always try to keep a catalog of the decks I have. And I just digress completely. But the Death here has really allowed me to enjoy I Love the World. Enjoy this, my decks, all of my decks. That was a surprise. Ace of Cups. I like that. That was a surprise for me that I thought the decks that were for sure that I set aside that I was going to try to sell or trade or get rid of or do whatever, or gift, not get rid of, gift. 3 of Cups. That's 3 little blackbirds. Not little. I don't know if they're ravens or crows. I just looked up in Google too, like the difference. There is an actual real difference between the two, the ravens and the crows, but I've already forgotten because there's been so much going on in the universe right now. But, you know, we'll just call them blackbirds. 4 of Cups. Oh, 5 of Cups. Beautiful. 6 of Cups. It's cute. The bubbles. 7 of Cups. Lots of options. 8 of Cups. 9 of Cups. 10 of Cups. Page of Cups. Cute. Starts off in an egg. Knight of Cups. Queen of Cups. King of Cups. Interesting with the courts. I have to sit with those, but you know. Ace of Coins. Love that Ace of Coins very much. 2 of Coins. Gorgeous. I'll have to work with that, but it's pretty. It is a pretty card, and I like how it progresses into little, you know, so you've got these pretty little blooms, and now they've grown a little, they've opened up a little bit more. Here's 4 of coins, all tied up and bound, which could be a good or a bad thing. 5 of coins, 6 of coins. That's pretty. I really like this deck. 7 of coins. And so Llewellen, the publisher, was at the symposium gifting decks away. And so I did not get this. I wanted to actually get this deck. So I thought it was so cool how the universe still got me the deck. You know, even though I'm in a death year, even though, you know, it's past my birthday, it's past Christmas, and I'm not looking for people getting me gifts, it still found its way. I love this 10 of coins. Love, love, love. Page of coins. Nice. Knight of coins. He's going to dig, or she's going to dig. Queen of coins. Beautiful. King of coins. Here's the swords. Ace of swords. 2 of swords. Wow, look at 3 of swords. 4 of swords. 5. So yeah, the death year, 6 of swords. Still didn't mean that I wasn't getting decks. Actually, people are gifting me decks, and that's so sweet. I don't have the heart to ever say no. 8 of swords, because you just never know. You might be meeting your new magical deck. 9 of swords. 10 of swords. Page of swords. Knight of swords. Queen of swords. And king. I think this is the last suit. We have Ace of Wands. Gorgeous. 2. 3 of Wands. 4 of Wands. Look at 5 of Wands. Little spark got carried away, knocked over. 6 of Wands. Nice. 7 of Wands. That's a nice depiction. Blocking protecting the flame, blocking it from being, snuffed out. 8 of Wands. 9 of Wands. 10 of Wands. Page of Wands. Knight. Queen. King. Nice. Let's see how it shuffles. Yeah, when people are gifting me decks, then it allows for me to really genuinely look at my collection and see where I can be gifting decks too, because there are some I'm going to be gifting. Oh yeah, I knew it was going to shuffle nicely. There's some that I knew right off the bat that I was going to gift to my son, for example, or friends, or that I was going to donate, or etc. So this makes it easier and fun when people gift or trade with me. I really like the feel of it. Like I said, I don't know when this was printed. If it was, I know this was published at a different, like later, like in older years. Let's see. But yeah. Okay, here it says Illuminating the Prophecy 2015 by Maggie Stiefvater. I wonder if that is, so the first edition, fourth printing was 2018, but the Illuminating the Prophecy, which this is this book, the guidebook, it was 2015. Cover and card, 2015. Cover design by Lisa Novak. Okay. Yeah, so it's an older deck. But as far as probably, it seems like it's in its, it says this particular one is this fourth printing. And the fourth printing took place in 2018. And I really appreciate Llewellen spelling that out so clearly of which edition it is. I don't always see that. And this particular edition really, it shuffles nicely. I can't quite tell. Like some people would say, oh, this is thin cardstock. It's not. It's not thin like my Antique Anatomy Tarot. That is a very thin, cannot shuffle this tonight. That's a very thin cardstock. But this one, it's a little bit thicker and it's super bendy. Let's see. We got the Sun. We got the Ten of Cups. And we got the Empress. Oh my goodness. Beautiful things springing up for those of us who are looking at this spread here. A time to be optimistic because, as you know, certain things are coming to an end. New beginnings are upon us with this Ten of Cups, endings and new beginnings. A lot of creative things bubbling up. It's feeling, you know, those in the Northern Hemisphere are feeling, you know, that bountiful energy of like that Empress creativity and connection and nurturing of ideas, nurturing of, you know, connections with our friends, connections with our families, connections with our projects, and really taking active steps to do that with this Knight of Cups that jumped. Interesting. Yeah, I really like this deck. I do. I was surprised that I kind of resisted buying it for so long. But you know what it is? I just kind of knew I wasn't ready for it. And now it feels like I'm ready. And what I've been doing is like I've started putting decks on my reading table and just kind of pulling it out and using it more and more. And that also is helping me realize, oh, you do have decks in your collection that it's not that you should be selling them right now. It's that you should be trying to see if you really have a connection. There was a reason why you purchased that deck. It wasn't a complete and total impulse buy. There's a reason. But when you're collecting deck after deck after deck after deck, it's hard to be able to spend any length of time with a particular deck to really know it, to get to know it. And so now that I have this depth here of pausing, I'm realizing, no, there's a reason why you got that deck. You really like it. You really bond with it, Kimberly. So that's been a nice takeaway. And it's been so beautiful how the universe has been so loving to me through loving people. You know, generous people. Thank you. Thank you. So there you have it, folks. This is the lovely Raven's Prophecy Tarot. And if you know this deck, if you want to chat about this deck, let me know. Or if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section down below. And yeah, if you want more videos like this, definitely subscribe. And if you were moved by this video in any way, please hit the like button. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching. So much love and many blessings to each and every one of you. Please stay safe. Please be well. Bye.